How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be going over my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 297, Strickland vs. Duplessis on January 20th, 2024. Let's get right into it with the first fight of 12. I'm going to change up how I record these videos. I'm going to pick who I think is going to win at the very start, just to save time, and then explain why. I'm picking Malcolm Gordon to win this fight. I would say second round TKO with ground and pound. I don't like to, shit on fighters, of course, because every fighter would kick my ass. But these two are pretty shit, equally. Jimmy Flick hasn't won a fight since I was 13 years old. That's a true fact. Malcolm Gordon has been finished in every loss that he's had, so this fight is pretty much a coin flip at this point. I'm picking Malcolm Gordon just based on the fact that Jimmy Flick in his last two performances has looked absolutely shit. Not saying that Malcolm Gordon looked good in his last two fights either, but Jimmy Flick, literally all he has is a submission in this fight. That's all he has. And Malcolm Gordon, I'll say this about Malcolm Gordon, he's a very inconsistent fighter. He missed weight going into this fight. I don't know what his weight cut was like. I'm assuming it was pretty dog shit. I just think Malcolm Gordon will pull it off. He's a favorite in this fight as well. This fight is pretty low level. I think Malcolm Gordon will edge it out with straight punches on the feet. Jimmy Flick on the feet is about as bad as it gets for a flyweight fighter, I'd say. The only thing, like Lucas Tracy said, he's sub or bust. That's it. If he doesn't get this submission win, he loses immediately. I don't think he beats Malcolm Gordon in a decision. Malcolm Gordon has never lost a decision in his life, mostly because he's too busy getting knocked out. I don't think Jimmy Flick has the striking prowess to knock out Malcolm Gordon, nor do I believe that he has the submission ability now to submit Malcolm Gordon. Because Malcolm Gordon, when he fought Muhammad Mokaev, he almost submitted Muhammad. If Muhammad had any, respect for his health, Malcolm Gordon performed well against Muhammad Mokaev. I think Jimmy Flick would get absolutely fucking murdered by Muhammad Mokaev. So, I'm going to pick Malcolm Gordon by second round TKO. Lock that shit in. We move to Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Priscilla Cachoeira in the women's bantamweight division because Priscilla couldn't make weight. I'm picking Jasmine Jasudavicius by unanimous decision, 30-27. This fight's very interesting because it's going to be a dogfight. Every Jasmine fight is a dogfight, and Priscilla Cachoeira welcomes a dogfight. That's kind of like her thing that she does. She's zombie girl. She walks forward and is like, "Aah." She just walks forward and eats punches and throws back with 2 times harder punches. The problem I have with Priscilla is her cardio doesn't suit her fight style. She has good cardio, don't get me wrong, but she gets so sloppy at the end of fights. And I'm not saying that Priscilla is like an accuracy demon or whatever. She also gets sloppy at the end of her fights. But I think Jasmine's fight style is better than the way that Priscilla tries to fight with her style. Jasmine's actually calm and calculated. She doesn't just rush forward and throw random shit while eating punches. No. Jasmine actually sets things up when she's tired. She doesn't just throw caution to the wind. I also don't like Priscilla in the clinch, nor do I like her on the ground. And Jasmine kind of excels there. I think if Miranda Maverick was able to get Priscilla down to the ground with ease, I think Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to murder Priscilla Cachoeira. She could get a sub here. I don't trust that. So I'm going to go with unanimous decision. I think Jasmine's going to struggle to get the takedown in the first 2 rounds. But as the rounds get on, I think with sweat and just natural tiredness and fatigue, I think Priscilla's going to go down easier and easier. It could be a late submission or a decision. I'm picking decision. Of course, Priscilla has the power advantage on the feet. I mean, she actually, knocks girls out. It's kind of scary sometimes. I struggle to believe that the chin of Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to be cracked tonight. I think Jasmine is going to put up her best effort and try to win, and I think she will. We move to Johan Lainez versus Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson moving up a weight class after getting knocked out by Nalash Moose. I'm picking Sam Patterson by first round submission. A lot of people are picking Johan Lainez by knockout, as Sam Patterson there, he's chinny, he gets knocked out, he keeps his hands down. A lot of people misremember the KO against Yanal Ashmouz. I don't think a lot of people have rewatched it. I just did. It's not the matter of him keeping his hands up. When he gets knocked off balance by that right hand, the left hand is what really does the most damage. When he's falling down and is trying to pull guard. It's not a matter of that he's chinny, it's just Yanal Ashmouz hits hard. Now, I'm not saying Johan Lainez doesn't hit hard. He hits very hard. But Johan's slower. This is up a weight class, so Sam Patterson isn't going to be as drained. I just really don't see Johan Lainez as a really good fighter. Both his losses are in the UFC. They're both finishes. He lost to Gabe Green. Johan Lainez, I feel Sam Patterson is going to use his kick game. Johan Lainez struggles against kicks. Sam Patterson loves to throw a wide array of kicks. Mike Malott was able to use that to his advantage in Johan in their fight. He was mostly throwing kicks and step-in punches, as Sam Patterson will do. Sam will pepper him until Johan throws a wide looping right overhand. It may connect, it may not. I hope it doesn't. Sam's going to take advantage of this, take Johan down, and then choke the balding man out. I think Sam Patterson's going to win. If he doesn't, I stand corrected, but I really think a lot of you are really underrating Sam Patterson just because he got knocked out by Yanal Ashmouz. We moved to Jillian Robertson versus Polyana Viana at strawweight. I'm picking Jillian Robertson by first round submission. I'm basing this off of Polyana Viana's struggle so heavy on the ground. I mean, 40% takedown defense. She has been submitted a number of times. Her defense on the ground isn't even really that good. All she does is throw up lackadaisical submission attempts off her back. She doesn't really try to get up, and if she does, she's just going to get taken down again. Jillian Robertson is so good. A lot of people, not so good. Her submission and ground game is so good. A lot of people just don't, I don't think the reach at disadvantage is going to really take a toll when Polyana's on the ground. Of course, Polyana can tear up on the ground, on the feet, but I just don't see that happening. Jillian Robertson's younger. She has more fight experience. She's fought better opponents than Polyana Viana and put up better fights against those people than Polyana would. I mean, Jillian Robertson's grappled with Rose Namajunas. She's fought Tyler Santos. I mean, she beat... I'm not going to use Molly McCann as an example. That's just funny. I just feel that Jillian Robertson's going to be able to get in the clinch, get judo throws, get takedowns, submit Polyana. I'll say the first round. Don't be surprised if it's in the second. It's the first or second round submission. Don't be surprised. We move to Surrey City versus Ramon Tavares. I'm picking Ramon Tavares by second round KO. If you know anything about this fight, you know it's a rematch from the Contender Series. Their first fight, I've rewatched it because when I watched MMA Guru's breakdown, was saying that Ramon looked better in the fight. I don't watch the Contender Series, so I had to go back and rewatch it. I rewatched it, and I'll say this: Surrey City is more dynamic on the feet. I think he's more quick, he's more potent and accurate, but Ramon is a bit more dogfighty. He lunges in and lands hard punches, and he was actually landing heavily on Surrey City in that fight. The stoppage, of course, I think it was more based on the fact that Ramon fell so fast. And then the first two punches at Surrey City, it kind of did look like Ramon went out. I can see where people are saying early stoppage this, early stoppage that. If it happened directly after that fight, this fight got rebooked after that, I would have said Surrey City would win again. Ramon then, I think 5 or 6 weeks later, goes back on the Contender Series, fights Contavious Romeus, and knocks him out in 29 seconds. He's with Team Alpha Male. He is a Giga Chad. He is a little bit, I don't know if the height on the podiums there are correct. That's what Topology says, because I think Surrey City looks way more taller than Ramon Tavares does. But Ramon looked insanely good against Contavious Romeus. Now, Contavious, of course, is not Surrey City, so that doesn't really matter. But Ramon made leaps in striking timing and just going for the kill against Contavious Romeus. I mean, he clipped him once and then just dropped him over and over again. I think this fight's going to be a war anyways, though, so it should be fun. We move to Charles Jourdain versus Sean Woodson, who has possibly the weirdest build I've ever seen. I'm picking Charles Jourdain by... I don't think he'll knock... No, he'll knock out Sean Woodson. I'll go second round TKO. Sean Woodson's chinny. I mean, he's 6'2" at fucking featherweight. I think he might be the tallest featherweight to ever exist. A lot of people don't know this. Sean Woodson used to be a light heavyweight. Then, I don't know what happened to cause him to lose so much weight. But he did fight at light heavyweight once. And I'm gonna be honest. He looked almost exactly the same, except his face was chubby, and his midsection was even fatter than it is. This fight's a very weird fight. Charles Jourdain, skill-wise, is better, but he's so much smaller than Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson on the feet, I'll say this, very slick. He's a very slick striker. Now, Charles Jourdain's record, 6-5-1 in the UFC, does not look good. I will give everybody that. But when you look at the people he's lost to, and the fact that he has most losses by decision, he's only been finished once, and it was by submission. He's never been knocked out. So I don't think Sean Woodson is going to crack him. He does have power, but I don't see him knocking out Charles Jourdain. Sean Woodson's only loss is by submission. But he also is a very chinny bastard when you're able to touch his chin. I mean, Luis Saldana, who I saw live at UFC Columbus, he's a cool guy, missing one finger on his hand. He dropped Sean Woodson and basically knocked him out, but he fucking kneed him in the face when he was on the ground. So, Sean Woodson, I feel the weight cut drains him so heavily. Charles Jourdain, while he doesn't hit that hard, he puts more pressure than a Luis Saldana does. He just does. He doesn't hit as hard, most likely, but he's more accurate. He throws punches way faster. Charles Jourdain, if it goes to the ground, he's going to be able to hang with him because he does have submission prowess. I think it's 5 knockouts, 8 submissions for Charles Jourdain, if I'm not mistaken. If it goes to decision, it'll most likely be Sean Woodson. But I don't think Sean Woodson's going to be able to get him in the clinch too often. He could, just with size. But Charles Jourdain ain't going to have that. He's not a settler. He fucking goes for it. I just feel Sean Woodson is going to not be able to touch Charles Jourdain as much as he wants. Sean Woodson's going to throw a lot of jabs, throw a lot of 1-2s down the pipe, throw a lot of teep kicks to the body. He's going to look really weird. It's going to be like a praying mantis on live television. Charles Jourdain, he's going to work his way in, and I feel he will win this fight. I hope he does, just to show how Sean Woodson's not that good. We move to Brad Katona versus Garrett Armfield at bantamweight in the featured prelim. I'm going to pick Brad Katona by unanimous decision, 30-27. I really just don't feel like Brad Katona has the power to put away Garrett Armfield, but I do feel he will just outpace Garrett Armfield and just kind of, chill out. Brad Katona's 2 losses are to Merab Dvalishvili and Hunter Azure, who Hunter Azure is a little less, notable than a Merab Dvalishvili, but he's still a 10-3 fighter. He still has a very positive record. While Garrett Armfield is 1-1 in the UFC, his one win is over Toshiomi Kazama, who already had lost on road to UFC and was brought into the UFC as a short notice replacement fighter. He's now 0-2 in the UFC. Toshiomi Kazama. He's not good. Garrett Armfield lost to David Onama by submission. Brad Katona could also submit Garrett Armfield. I kind of doubt it. Garrett Armfield has the power advantage here because Brad Katona doesn't really hit hard, but Brad Katona will put on a pace. He will make this they both will make it a dogfight. Pardon my French. Both of them. Garrett Armfield also kind of fights like a dog. I really struggle to see Garrett Armfield chinning Brad Katona. Cody Gibson was landing a lot of hard shots on Brad Katona, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that he will land the shot to put away Brad Katona. The reach definitely could play a part, but I don't think Garrett Armfield has the striking presence on the feet that Brad Katona has. I think Brad Katona will mix his attacks more than Garrett Armfield's looping punches. Garrett Armfield might go to the body, but I just don't see Garrett Armfield winning. So, like I said, Brad Katona, unanimous decision, 30-27. Lock it in. We have made it to the main card. Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev will open up the pay-per-view. I'm picking Arnold Allen by second round TKO. I think a lot of people are, and I was shocked when I found out Arnold Allen is the underdog in this fight. I think it's blatantly clear that Movsar has a very good chance of winning this fight, and I think he will, of course, because I'm picking him. Movsar Evloev is not that good on the feet, and his takedown game, he works really well against guys who move forwards and backwards. His best win, arguably, is either Diego Lopez or Dan Ige, and Diego Lopez took that fight on super short notice, and Dan Ige is Dan fucking Ige. So I think that's all I need to say on that. Arnold Allen hasn't been taken down since 2018, and he's fought a lot of good people since then. Sadiq Youssef, Max Holloway, Dan Hooker. I mean, Arnold Allen is putting a pace on these guys, and of course I know he lost to Max Holloway in his last fight, but it's Max fucking Holloway. Movsar Evloev would get fucking dog-walked by Max Holloway. Arnold Allen made it competitive. He was winning that fifth round up until the knockdown. He was putting a pace on Max Holloway that we've never seen someone... I mean, Volkanovski actually did kind of put a pace on him. But that's besides the point, right? That's Alexander Volkanovski. People view Movsar as this unbeatable, undefeated, super good Russian prospect. And don't get me wrong, he is those things, but he's not unbeatable. He has shown severe holes in his striking. And if he's not able to get the takedown against Arnold Allen, which I don't think he will, Arnold Allen will buck off all those fucking takedowns. He will struggle against Arnold Allen on the feet. So I tell you what, if Hakeem Dawodu was rocking you around with jabs and straights, Arnold Allen's going to put your ass away. Movsar is going to have to shoot a lot of takedowns, go for the clinch a lot, but when he figures out that Arnold Allen works well in the clinch, and when he's kneeing him in the gut, landing close-up elbows, he's fucking teeing him off with ones and twos, he's not able to get the takedowns, he's stuffing everything, he's fucking sprawling everything. Movsar is going to be huffing and puffing and huffing and puffing, and when that happens, Arnold Allen's going to rip to his body and then TKO his ass. Movsar Evloev is not a bad fighter. It's just that Arnold Allen is that good. Let's go, Almighty. You got it. We move to Chris Curtis versus Marc-Andre Barriault at middleweight. The only reason this is on the main card is because Marc-Andre is from Canada and Chris Curtis is Sean Strickland's best friend. There's not really much to say about this fight, I feel. I'm picking Chris Curtis by, I'll say, unanimous decision, 29-28. Marc-Andre Barriault fights a very slow type of style. He just does. Marc-Andre fights a slower style, so does Chris Curtis. Marc-Andre makes it more of a dogfight. He kind of struggles on the back foot, but Chris Curtis isn't really the type to move forward. He more stays in the center, tries to throw down with people. Marc-Andre does have power. Chris Curtis is defensively sound, though. That's where Marc-Andre's striking isn't insanely good, to where I feel he can knock out Chris Curtis, but Chris Curtis is more in the MMA scene. And what I mean by that, he's fought better opponents. He just has more experience. I mean, 30-10. His 2 losses in the UFC are to Jack Hermanson and Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, you don't really... Those aren't even bad losses, really, other than maybe Kelvin. Kelvin isn't really that good of a loss, but you could argue Chris Curtis lost that due to a headbutt. Chris Curtis has fought better opponents. He's put up great fights against those people, other than Nasruddin Imavov was kind of picking him apart. There isn't a significant size difference here, which makes me side with Chris Curtis. The only way that Chris Curtis really struggles is with size and just kickboxing fundamentals, people who can do it from range. Marc-Andre has a lesser reach than Chris Curtis. He's not going to be able to tag Chris Curtis from long range. He's going to have to try and get in there. Chris Curtis, I feel, has better cardio as well, just striking fundamentals as well. Chris Curtis, I feel, is just a better fighter. Marc-Andre, of course, could try and get this into the clinch against the cage and try and, pressure him that way. I feel that it will gas Marc-Andre more than Chris Curtis. So I think Chris Curtis's defense, his shelling up, his Philly shell, I think his hooks are going to land all day to the head and body. I think his body uppercut is fucking amazing. I think he's going to put a beat down on Marc-Andre, sadly. Sorry, Canada. Your boy's about to lose. We move to Neil Magny versus Mike Malott. This one's pretty easy. Mike Malott, first or second round submission. I think this one's pretty easy as well, just based on the fact that Neil Magny just is not really that good anymore. He's aging. He's looked pretty bad against people who are actually good prospects, other than Daniel Rodriguez, who go for takedowns on Neil Magny in the 3rd round when you're a pure striker and you're actually winning. Mike Malott, his stand-up, I feel, is better than Neil Magny. I feel his kicks to the body are going to play dividends. He's going to beat up that long rangy body. If he needs to take down Neil Magny, he will. He can, and he will get the takedown. He's very strong. Mike Malott also has knockout ability. I don't think he'll knock out Neil Magny. Also, leg kicks. We've seen Neil Magny struggle so bad with leg kicks in recent bouts. I mean, Ian Gary literally fucking chopped him fucking praying mantis legs out from under him. If Mike Malott needs to, he will throw a leg kick. I really just feel Mike Malott will get a takedown very easy against Neil Magny and just kind of just submit him. I'll go with arm triangle. Mike Malott, this is his homecoming fight, of course. It's Canada. He's a Canadian guy. I don't think I really need to say anything else. I think this fight's pretty easy to pick. I feel if you pick Neil Magny, you're just picking against the grain to pick against the grain. I just don't really see him beating Mike Malott. Mike Malott is slower, but saying Neil Magny's faster than Mike Malott, I just don't think that's true either. Neil Magny's slow as fuck. His stand-up isn't great. Just Mike Malott's we're about to see Neil Magny get beat up again. Jesus fucking Christ. We move to the co-main event of the evening. Raquel Pennington versus Mayra Bueno Silva for the vacant women's bantamweight title. I'm going Mayra Bueno Silva submission 2nd round. Let me just say this. This fight on paper should be closer, but it really isn't that close. I think Mayra Bueno Silva is going to make a mockery of Raquel Pennington. Raquel is on a win streak. Mayra Bueno Silva's last fight got turned over to a no contest against Holly Holm because she popped hot for, I think, medication or something. That doesn't even matter, though, because Raquel Pennington, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to bring up Mayra Bueno Silva was so much struggling on the feet with Holly Holm. Raquel Pennington is not Holly Holm. She is so much slower. She doesn't have the power that Holly Holm has. She doesn't have the fundamentals that Holly Holm has. Raquel Pennington is basic striking. She knows how to throw a jab. She throws a good one, too. Other than that, she throws check hooks. Other than that, dead. I mean, she can clinch a little bit. If you don't want to go in the clinch with Mayra Bueno Silva, though, she'll fucking ninja choke you. Mayra Bueno Silva will struggle early, but then she will pick up on reads. She will start throwing heavy right straights on Raquel Pennington. She will land them. She will push Raquel Pennington back, because I'm telling you what, Mayra Bueno Silva ain't taking a step back in this fight. Unless Raquel Pennington, hits her hard enough to make her back up, Mayra Bueno Silva is going to charge, or not charge, walk forward this entire fight, and she's going to beat the hell out of Raquel Pennington. Raquel is trying to make this more heated than it really needs to be. It doesn't really need to be this heated, I feel. I really don't think Raquel stands a chance against Mayra Bueno Silva. I think Mayra Bueno Silva will be the first champion crowned in 2024, and she'll do it in dominant fashion. That's all I'm going to say. We have made it to the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis, middleweight title fight. My most popular video on my channel is me saying why Dricus wouldn't get the title shot. What are you going to do? This fight's very interesting. I'm picking Sean Strickland by 4th round TKO. But let me say this. This is the only fight in my career of picking fights. I've been picking fights since 2021, I'd say. Was it 266 when I started? Or was it... It was Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. That card. This is the only time in my career of picking fights that I felt this way about a fight, where I kept flipping my pick back and forth during fight week. I have just been thinking about everything. I've been going, oh, well, Sean will do this, but Dricus could clip him. Sean could outlast him, but Dricus might be able to take him down. Yada, yada, yada. This fight is going to be a fucking banger. This fight's going to be very good. Fight of the night for sure, unless Dricus chins him early, right? Sean Strickland has the best middleweight defense at middleweight, I think, in history. I think he has the least amount of times being hit. He made Israel Adesanya look like a fool. People think Dricus' charging style will work against Sean Strickland. Dricus can move forward all he wants. Sean Strickland does sort of struggle on the back foot. When Dricus is going to charge at him, Sean Strickland will flail his arms. But I think Sean's defense will pay dividends. And Dricus taking him down... After seeing that Sean Strickland trains with Magomed Ankalaev for, ground training, I don't need to worry about that. I don't think we need to worry about Dricus being able to take down Sean Strickland and holding him down. Sean Strickland trains with fucking Magomed Ankalaev, alright? Now, am I scared of Dricus' power? Yes, I am. Dricus hits incredibly hard for middleweight. It is absurd how hard this man hits. But yet again, I'm going with Sean's defense. Sean's defense, his teep kicks to the body, his 1-2s, Dricus' cardio. With the pace that these guys are going to fight at, Sean's going to try and take it a lighter speed. He will. He will try and keep it a lighter speed. But if Dricus tries to speed up, he will not have a complex carb level of cardio. He's not going to have a sustainability. He's going to have a quick drop-off of energy. After that first adrenaline dump, after round 2, I'd say, I'm giving Dricus 2 rounds. Because Brad Tavares, that fight was totally different, right? Dricus makes a lot of mistakes. People are comparing his win against Robert Whittaker to Israel Adesanya, to Sean Strickland's win over Israel Adesanya. Those two aren't comparable. Israel beat Robert Whittaker twice, right? I think if Sean Strickland fought Robert Whittaker, after seeing what he did to Israel Adesanya, I think Sean Strickland would beat Robert Whittaker too. Would he finish him? I don't think so. Dricus is the finisher in this equation, right? That's why this fight is so exciting, because I really do feel that Sean Strickland on the feet is more... just more accurate, more stylistically sound, more fundamentally sound. But Dricus brings that one-punch energy. He brings that one-punch KO power, which is why I'm trying to debate on whether Dricus hits harder than Alex Pereira. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Does Dricus hit harder than Alex Pereira? I don't think so. But he definitely could knock out Sean Strickland. Dricus looked like he had a bad weight cut. He looked fucking drained as balls, right? I think Sean Strickland's going to pitter-patter with him. Dricus is going to swing wildly. He'll try and get the clinch going. Sean Strickland will just stand straight up tall. He'll Philly shell. He'll tag him up. Bop, 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 bop. I think Dricus has the chance to knock him out when it gets to the latter rounds, right? The championship rounds, Dricus will crumble. I'm telling you. I know every media outlet right now. I know Sean Strickland's a favorite, but I know a lot of the media guys right now are picking Dricus du Plessis. They're going to eat their words. And Justin Herron on Twitter, I know he's there, I'm picking Sean Strickland. And if Dricus wins, all good for him. I will be thoroughly impressed. In his entire career, I have picked him once to win, and it was against Brad Tavares. I don't know if I was picking fights when he fought Trevin Giles, but I'm pretty sure I picked Trevin Giles. Ever since then, I've picked against him. I'm going to keep that going. I just don't think he's going to beat Sean Strickland. And it is because I think Sean's better, but I also think people are bringing up his takedowns, his power, this and that. I just think Sean Strickland's going to nullify it. Sean Strickland looks in the best shape he's ever been. He looks in better shape now than he did when he was going against Israel Adesanya. I know that fight was on short notice and this is a full camp, but Jesus Christ, man. He looks fucking shredded. Same with Dricus, by the way. He looks very good, too. I think everyone wants... It's a 50-50. You either want Sean to win or you want him to lose. And it's not because you want Dricus to win. It's because you want to see Sean lose. Right? This is going to be a hell of a fight, guys. Don't get me wrong. And I would love to see Dricus prove me wrong, because I fuck with Dricus a lot. He's a fucking Chad. I think MMA Guru said it best when he said that he's chatting his way through the division, kind of like Benoit Saint Denis going through lightweight. If he's able to pull this off, I don't think anyone's going to rip that title off his hands for a while. If Sean Strickland is not able to beat him, Dricus would do ungodly things to Israel. He would take him down and fucking beat his head in. Right? I just don't see him getting through Sean Strickland. I'm sorry. Dude, this is going to be so fucking sick. I'm UFC Thoughts, and these have been my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 297, Strickland vs. du Plessis on I'm UFC Thoughts, and these have been my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 297, Strickland vs. du Plessis on January 20th, 2024. My confident picks reside with Arnold Allen, Mike Malott, and in the co-main event, Mayra Bueno Silva. My pre-card rating is a 7 out of 10 for the first pay-per-view of the year. We'll say it's pretty weak, right? But as a card, if we're taking it just as a card, it's pretty good. There's a lot of fun fights on here. I gotta really bounce back after the fucking Magomed Ankalaev Johnny Walker 2 card. I went like 6-5, and then 2-1 on the confident picks. I'm looking to hit a streak here. I gotta hit this main event. I don't want to have a fucking streak of losing main events, because I don't think I hit a lot in 2023, if I'm being honest. Hopefully it's fun, and I'll see you guys after the fights. Peace.